Yo, what's up guys? Paul here from Paul's Game and Fish, bringing you another theory crafted build. This is a expansion of my stamina Warden healer, which has been doing great. It's been performing phenomenally in Battlegrounds. It's been hilarious in the stores because they just don't expect something like that, especially if you're running a small group, 3, 4, 5 people. The stamina healer was doing great, but I kind of wanted some other utility. I wanted something different to do with it besides from casting Spore and Vigor. So I was messing around with a couple of skills, and all of a sudden the skills and a few set pieces started to click for me, and I started putting 2 and 2 together. It's like, this is actually ridiculous. So I've halfway got the build ready. I want to get this video out there as far as a theory craft right now, and I should be coming up with a build video probably by Tuesday. So getting right into this is a hybrid healer Warden. Okay, it's probably going to be 60-40 stamina to magic. I might even try to keep it 50-50 just because of how fun and ridiculous that this is playing out right now and just the stuff that I'm messing around with. I just got to get some better traits and upgrade my gear right now. So this is 5 heavy, 1 light, 1 medium. Front bar, you're either going to do sword and board if you feel like being a little bit more defensive and taking a hit, or you're going to do dual wield, 1 sharpened, or no, excuse me, 1 powered, 1 defending, dual wield daggers, which this is probably going to be the best setup, so that way you can get the extra 10% crit while getting a healing and defend bonus with them with the daggers. So like I said, 5 heavy, 1 light, 1 medium, because it is stat intensive. So getting into our first set is going to be Shackle Breaker. This is going to, you're going to do 4 on the body, 1 weapon on your front bar, and also, how much gas do I got? I'm good. I'm in my truck right now on lunch, by the way. You're going to do 4 on the body, 1 on your dual wield bar, and then you're going to do a restoration staff with it. If I didn't mention, this is dual wield and restoration staff combo. So Shackle Breaker is going to give us weapon spell damage. It's going to give us double recoveries, and it's also going to give us max stam and max magicka. That's actually where we're looking at on this build. Those stats are the 2000 stamina magicka is going to be about 200-ish, maybe 190, 195 of weapon and spell power for you. So it's actually adding a lot to you. The next set that we're using is Bone Pirate. We're going to be using 3 jewelry, 1 weapon, and 1 body part for this, because we only want the Bone Pirate active on our front bar. We're not going to care about it on our restoration bar. So this is going to give you double stam. It's going to give you stam recovery. And when you have a drink active, it's going to increase your max stamina by 2,000 and your stamina recovery by 150. The tooltip on this is actually wrong. Now the drink we're going to use is the Witch Mother's Brew. So it's kind of weird, but it works. It procs this set, but Witch Mother's gives you health, magicka, and magicka recovery. So you're actually balancing the other half of this set with it. And that's when your stats get stupid silly with this set and that drink right there. The next set we're going to be using is Troll King, going to give us healing done. And it's when you heal a friendly target when they're below 50%. This tooltip's wrong here also. It's going to give them about 1500 recovery. That's ridiculous. You put this on an orc, you let that proc on an orc, their stuff is just off the wall. So this is a setup of how the gear is going to go. Now, mind you, down here on the bottom, it does look like you're running 6 pieces, or double weapons and a shield, which it is going to show that I'm running 6, but I just need to do this for a visual aid. So imagine the Shackle Breaker and shield on your front bar, and then the far left Shackle Breaker is your back bar. That's the only way I can tell you. So front bar, we're going to be using 3 Bone Pirate jewelry, 1 Bone Pirate weapon, and 1 Bone Pirate glove. So that way that's your 5 piece on your front bar. Back bar, when you switch over, you got your 4 Shackle Breaker on your back bar, plus your Shackle Breaker restoration staff. I'm still determining whether I want to run a powered or a defending restoration staff. I might run defending, but it all depends on how much I toy with the hills on my back bar. Now, that's actually wrong, the Undaunted Bastion. Yeah, that's actually wrong, the Undaunted Bastion. That's actually 2-piece Troll King right there for the head and shoulders. It looks like I might have selected the wrong one when I was setting this up, but that's no problem. So 2-piece Troll King on head and shoulders. Like I said, 5 heavy, 1 medium, 1 light. Getting into the skills, this is where things get really interesting, guys. So on your front bar, your dual wield bar or sword and board if you want more defense. Front bar, we're going to run Soothing Spores. The stamina version of this seems to hit a lot harder than the Magicka version, but also in addition to that, if they're within 8 meters, the heal's gonna be 15% stronger. Now this is also 15% stronger on you also, so keep that in mind. This hot, excuse me, is insane. So you can gap close to an ally. You could be right beside him if you want and just cast it on him. It's cool. But with this build, the way that it's set up right now, it's putting a hot on them for about 17 to 18k over 10 seconds. That is ridiculous, stacked with all the other hots you're gonna be putting on them. It is silly the amount of hots that you're putting on people. And also it lets you get into the fight. Echoing Vigor, you're not going to need Resolving Vigor. Everything that you cast is on yourself. So why would you need to heal yourself even stronger? So you might as well just reach out and touch your allies a little bit more. Shimmering Shield. Guys, I'll be really surprised if this ability does not get nerfed next patch. Seriously, major heroism. You're getting 3 ultimate every 1.5 for 6 seconds on a successful absorb. Somebody's always casting something at you. And with the cost of this, it's actually going to be pretty cheap to keep up, and you can cast the hell out of this and just your main ultimate is 75. You know, right now the way that I'm working with this, about every 10 to 12 seconds, I'm getting this ultimate up. It is silly, guys. Deceptive Predator. This is going to give you movement speed. It's also going to give you additional stamina recovery. Somebody almost got in a wreck right there. Additional stamina recovery, and then a little bit of dodge chance, which is cool, but we don't care about that. The biggest thing is just moving around. The stamina recovery is cool, so that way you can keep casting your Vigor, keep casting your Spore. But moving around, being mobile, is what's frustrating to most people. They know how to stand there and fight you, toe to toe all day long. Let them chase you around. Make them work for it. Your heal, the best heal in the game, Healing Thicket. It's going to heal for a big chunk when it hits. It's going to heal for a lot more every second. On my guy right now, it hits for about 8k up front. There's about 6k every second for 6 seconds, and then when it's done, it's about 24k over 4 seconds. Is at least on my stat sheet right now what it's doing for me. But this is your bread and butter of that heal right there. Back bar, this is your restoration bar. This bar isn't used actively. It's like a buff and then go back, so you can kind of use it like a buff bar. This is your dual wield bar is your main heal. Your back bar, we're going to start with our buffs. We got the Bull Netch, which is giving you major brutality and major sorcery, and it's going to be giving you back stamina over this time. So because of the different sources, this is going to give you back stamina, and Deceptive Predator is going to increase your stamina recovery. Because of those, we need to make sure that our Magicka recovery is balanced out also. Start out, just set everything up and leave it blank, and then play it and see which resource runs out for you the most. For me right now, I seen that if I keep about 25% more stamina recovery than I do Magicka recovery, that seems to work out just fine for me, because I am casting the hell out of that Spore and then Vigor. But you always need to have Magicka on hand to do things. So like I said, Bull Netch, giving you back stamina and giving you major sorcery and major brutality. Ice Fortress, your teammates should have their own method of giving themselves major armor. But if not, this is a in-your-face heal, or in-your-face healing build, so you're going to swing into them. You're already there. If you cast this again, while they're within 8 meters of you, they're getting that major buff also. Major armor, major spell resist. Also, something else can be used as a buff, rapid regeneration. This is another great hot for you. And then Leeching Vines. I didn't like Leeching Vines at first, until I started stacking more Magicka. And then once I realized how strong this is, every time you get hit, you're healing for almost 2k every time you get hit. And then you're going to put Lifesteal on the enemy, which is healing for 600 every time you hit them. So something like this it's pretty strong. If it procs on one of your attackers, one of your DPS guys, just for them fighting that person every second, they're getting back about 2,600 health every second for just them fighting the enemy with this buff on them. This is a pretty cool heal. We're going to use Corrupting Pollen. Same thing with this. I underestimated this skill until I realized the major defoul on it is so awesome. So you could take the other morph if you want a bigger heal, but you're double pressing a button to get the double heal to go off, or the instant heal to go off. It does heal for about 10k for the instant heal, but this is something where I can throw down on the ground and I can put up my other buffs, and then by the time my other buffs are up, the heal proc. So it's cool. It works out nice for me. But by doing major defile on the enemies, you're actually helping out your DPS a lot, because they don't have to worry about, you know, people's health bars rubber banding. You know, they'll either stay, if they're heavy healing, their health bar is just going to sit in one spot if they're heavy healing. The ultimate we went on this bar is Northern Storm, so that way we have increased maximum magicka by 8%. So like I said, you want more magicka on this bar, which is why we're not going to have Bone Pirate active on this bar. We're going to have Shackle Breaker. This way your magicka stays as high as it most possibly can, just because your rapid regeneration, your leeching vines, and your corrupting pollen are all based on your maximum magicka. So keep that in mind also. Now, also on our back bar here, we are using 2 of the green balance abilities. So this is going to give us 4% additional healing on that bar. And it's also going to give us a bit of armor, because of Ice Fortress and Northern Storm, the passive that you have, Frozen Armor, is going to give you 500 armor and spell resist for each Northern Storm ability slotted. Now on our front bar, we do lose that little bit of armor, but we also have more healing on our front bar as well, because we're going to have 3 pieces from our green balance tree, so we're going to get 6% additional healing. The Munda Stone you're going to want to run on this. I toyed back and forth between recovery, weapon damage, and the healing done, 10% healing done. And 10% healing done is actually outperforming anything else that I can do on this. As far as the stat distributions and CP is concerned, and enchantments, I'm still working a little bit with those, because I'm trying to find the balance that I feel is right. Right now, like I said, about 60-40 leaning towards stamina seems to be what's working the most for me. But 50-50 would still work good, because the extra magicka on your back bar. Because if you did 60-40 and then when you went to your back bar, your stats are about 50-50 when you're on your back bar. So they do kind of balance it in a weird way. What I'm expecting out of this, because it is running heavy with everything, I'm expecting about 25,000 health, and I'm expecting about 25 to 27,000 of both stamina and magic. I'm also expecting to run about 17 to 1800 of each resource recovery. Now this is just what I'm expecting based on the numbers that I see and how the classes go. It might be a little bit different. I do believe I am going to have to run Vampire on this, so that way I get the extra recovery bonuses. Now, if I did have to sacrifice something, because I am in heavy armor, I would probably bring my health down to about 21.5 to 22k, so that way I can bring my resources up a little bit higher. But with that being said, I mean, fully buffed in battle, 511, you should be looking at about 26 to 28k resistances. Running this, especially if you're running Sword and Board. This is still a build in action. I probably rambled on a little bit longer than what I should have, but like I said, I just wanted to get this out there so that way you guys can see what this is, where it's going. I should have a build video up by Tuesday. That's assuming I get me a heavy Troll King helmet by then, because so far I've gotten about 9 light helmets right now, and that's kind of frustrating. Just because my Bone Pirate is medium, and I am getting frustrated with it giving me the helmet in light. Alright guys, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, this is still a theory craft, so obviously if you guys want to help out with it, go right ahead. You know, I'll tag your name in something if you make a good change to the build, and before I make the build video, I'll make sure to call you out in it. Alright guys, peace.